Uh, when I first started doing sales, I had no background. And let me just tell you right out of the gate here, there is no such thing as a natural born marketing or sales rep. Even though I love sales, I've always loved sales, but I wasn't naturally born to have a sales ability. It took, in my case, it took 2 years of hard knocks, learning the hard way on how to effectively sell restoration services time after time after time consistently. So I'm going to share the story with you today that hopefully will inspire you, but also, if nothing else, will be just kind of a hairbringer, let you know that there will be times when you get kicked out of offices that you call on. Okay, so I had been calling on these agencies, 127 agencies every month, like clockwork. If I saw this particular farmer's agency on first Monday of every month, then that's where I was every month. First Monday, I'd be at that of each month. I'd be at the same office, but I really wasn't doing anything. I didn't know how to ask for the sale. I didn't know the importance of building a needs analysis. I just always did like a lot of restoration marketing people do. I'd go and say, "Hey, have you had any losses lately?" And they'd always say the same thing. They say, "Oh, and oh, we haven't. Knock on wood." And then they tap their desk. Uh, that's not the way to do it. That's not the way to get referrals from insurance agencies and producers. I'm going to explain to you here in a minute the right way to do it. But nonetheless, that's the way I was doing because that's the way I knew how to do it because I had no background. I had nobody that taught me how to do this. Even though I was reading every book you could imagine, I was listening to Zig Ziglar. In fact, I read everything written by Zig. He was my hero, still is, and Brian Tracy and so many others. But anyway, so during my classes that I teach, and you can find out about my classes for agents and adjusters and other classes by going to learn.johndon.com. There is a list of all my classes and what you can expect from attending my classes. Okay, moving forward. So during my classes on marketing to agents and adjusters, one of the first questions I ask my attendees, my students, and my friends, or restorers just like I am, I said, by show of hands, who in here has been kicked out of an office before, an insurance agency's office? Nobody raised their hand. I raised my hand, of course. And then sometimes I'll see a hand kind of drift up, and I see the other hand kind of pulling it back down. And there's nothing shameful about being thrown out of an office. There's not. Depends on what you take from it, the takeaway. So when I was calling these different agencies on the 24th month, I stopped at this farmer's agency in Sedalia, Missouri, beautiful historic little town. Again, 127 agencies, but I was marketing to a 14 county mid-Missouri area because we have a lot of popular areas that are country and a lot of small towns. So there's not a lot of big cities, in other words. So I called on this agent 23 times previously, and I'd walk into her office. I'd say hi, I'd introduce myself, and ask her if she has any losses lately that we can help her with. And she always just looked at me like this. I mean, she wouldn't say anything. She was not a communicator. The one thing that I had noticed for the 23 visits was her office always smelled like dog whiz or cat whiz. Carpets are stained, terribly stained. And she was a smoker. So when I walked into the office, it was always filled with smoke. And she had dark paneling on the walls. This was a cheap rented office, I'm sure. And the one thing I distinctly remember was that she had Massey Ferguson calendars on her wall from the 60s. And if you've ever been in farm country, you know Massey Ferguson is a big iconic tractor. So anyway, on the 24th time, she was on my route. So my route this month, was going to give away coffee mugs, and I was going to put Hershey Kisses in them. And I carried a little cooler with me because it was summertime. I didn't want them to melt. Well, I got out of my truck, walked in her office with my mug in hand. And by the way, I always wore a suit and tie, always. So to give you a little more background on this particular insurance agent, she was not a producer by any stretch, but she was an agent. She had snaggled teeth, fiery red hair, and she couldn't have been no more than 5'2" at best, and probably weighed 80 pounds wet. A little small, wiry thing. But nonetheless, she never caused me harm before. She just never talked. So this month I go in with this coffee mug in my hand, open door, and keep in mind her office is 12 foot by 12 foot at best, and her desk sits right in the middle of this office, this smoke-filled office. So when I opened the door, walked in, immediately she came running behind her desk, stood up, run behind her desk towards me. And I'm honestly thinking at first, what is she going to do? She's going to try to hug me because I know she's got to be lonely because she's a non-producer. And by look of her offices and everything, you wouldn't consider her a successful insurance producer. But anyway, she got right up in my face and she was screaming and her arms were flailing around. She was saying, "You dirty MF, don't you MF ever come back to my house again, you stupid MF, for the restoration, come blah, blah, blah." Cuss word after cuss word after cuss word. And the whole time I'm holding this coffee mug. And during one of her rants, she grabs the coffee mug, not realizing it probably. And she's still wailing her arms, screaming at me. But I want you guys to visualize this, and you girls who are on this Facebook group. I want you to visualize this because it's as memorable today as it was the day that it happened. When she was up screaming in my face, nearly nose to nose, she was on her tippy toes. And she kind of spit a lot when she talked. Her breath, it smelled like a mixture of cheap bourbon and red man chewing tobacco. Now, if you think about it, that's a picture you'll never get out of your head. To this day, 30 years later, it's still it's sketched on the frontal vortex of my head. Uh, anyway, so she was screaming and all this. I said, "Easy, easy, easy." So I reached back for the doorknob and I said, "Easy, easy, ma'am, I'm leaving." So I opened the door, kind of went out sideways, shut the door, and I can, outside her office, I can still hear her in there screaming every profanity that you could ever imagine, especially for a woman. It was shocking. So I get my vehicle and I leave, finish my route out. Next month comes, and on that same Thursday of the next month, I was in Sedalia, Missouri again, monthly. Remember, everything was done consistently. So I'm getting ready to pass her office, and then for some reason, I thought about it, and I said, I was at the stoplight, and looked over her office. So I have a question to you guys listening to this video right now. If you're a sales warrior, what would you have done? What do you think I did? Well, if you're a sales warrior, you know exactly what I did. I pulled into her office because the month before, I told you I put Hershey's Kisses because I kept a cooler in my car, but I forgot to put them in. So that was my excuse to go back into the office because truthfully, the core reason I was going to go in was to ask her, what was that all about last month? What did I do to cause you enough harm for you to lash out at me like that? I'm just a salesman, right? So I walk in her office, and again, I always wear suit and tie every single visit. I open the door. As soon as I walked in, she looks at me, and first thing I did was went like this, but before I could even finish, put my hands up to say, "Easy, easy." She went into this, had a convulsion, a fit. I thought she was having an epileptic seizure. Honestly, that's what I thought. Her arms were moving and her body was twisting, and she was making these gurgling sounds. It's hard to even explain, but it was just, be honest with you, that was probably one of the few times in my sales career where I was actually frightened. Now, my first thought, I know a lot of you guys, if you do outside sales, your first thought is probably going to be, "Oh, I better get up there and help her. Maybe she needs CPR." But I'm not going to lie to you. Uh, my first thought was, "Oh my gosh, she's having some kind of a seizure. And if she dies, I know she's probably more than likely told a family member or a friend about the experience she had with me last month, just 30 days previous, about throwing me out." So now I was thinking, my mind's working really fast. I said, "Oh my gosh, if she dies, there might be an inquest." And my fingerprints on that door. So I'm reaching back to feel the doorknob that's still there. Anyway, it seemed like she was having this convulsion for a minute or 2 minutes, but it probably only lasted 10 seconds. And then all of a sudden, when she was bent over, she pulled herself back up, inhaled real big, exhaled, and she started laughing. She had just come out of a belly laugh. And if you've ever had a belly laugh, you know what that feels like. Anyway, she said, "Ivan Turner, you got the balls the size of Godzilla. That's why I threw you out last month. But I wish I had the same size balls because I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in. My agency is stuck. We have not been grown for ages." So I said, "Easy, easy." I said, "I'm just bringing this. I've got a pack of kisses here because last month when I brought you that coffee mug in, I forgot to put them in it. And when you jerked the cup out of my hand, I realized I didn't have the kisses. So easy, easy." don't get up, don't get up. So I reached back for the doorknob, and I still, just for cautionary reasons, I kind of took my coat jacket and wiped off fingerprints just in case. But anyway, so my point is, guys and gals, if you're doing outside sales, understand it's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you get kicked out of an office. Sometimes it's a soft kick out. Hers was a hard kick out. I've had other times, two other times, where agencies, one was a CSR, just said, we told you before, you don't need to come in here because we're using someone else. We're not going to change. That's the way it is. So there's no need to come back, and thank you for not coming back. And that's fine. I still went back. But anyway, this farmer's agent that had this stinky little office, smelled like dog whiz, up until that time, up until I came back after the kid thrown out, she never had referred my business ever. But something miraculously happened. After I came back with that little sack of Hershey Kisses, she started referring my business. Now, they weren't big jobs. They weren't jobs that I was going to retire or take a vacation on or finance my second home with. But they were certainly jobs, and what she was doing, she was reciprocating. So anyway, the moral of the story is, if you're in outside sales, there's a lot to outside sales: needs analysis, overcoming objections, and so many other things that you need to know. And I teach these during my on-site classes, which I do that also. In addition to John Don, I do on-site sales training for companies. But just understand, don't take it personal. It's part of the sales cycle, or the life cycle of a sales warrior. And there was a difference. I was a sales warrior, and I think that's the reason why I was able to go back that next time, because I just had to know. So in restoration space, especially when marketing to agents and adjusters, remember this: there's two types of sales reps. You have the candy jar filler uppers, the ones that go in every month, stop and fill up candy jar and get nothing in return. And then there's the sales warrior who never takes no for an answer. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get to the yes, but you will get there if you're persistent and consistent, and if you're doing it with a attitude of servitude. And when you're talking to agents and producers, you really want to let them know right out of the gate, you don't want to be their vendor, you want to be their partner. Okay, that's the way I always sold my services. I want to be your partner, not your vendor. So I hope you got something out of this video. It's just one of many ugly stories in my journey as a sales warrior. But if you got something out of this, please like this video, and please, for goodness sakes, help a sales warrior out. Make a comment. If you've ever been thrown out of an office, make a comment. Or if you wish you would have been thrown out of an office, write a comment, share, and then hit share button, so others can learn from my mistake and maybe perhaps from yours. So anyway, to end this, I want to say have an awesome weekend and have a phenomenal next week. And I hope you do well. And I will see you soon. Bye.